After the sudden betrayal from one enemy to another, the heroes saw victory over their potential captors. The strange and horrifying turncoat dealt the finishing blow and called the heroes together for healing and recovery. This new could-be ally went by the name Lump and tried their best to explain their presence here, but their memories were muddled and fractured thanks to what tortures they had to endure. They knew that they had been in the vaults for a very long time, however, since the stone-scale kobolds once colonized the area, some 200 to 300 years ago. Wary of their new companion, the heroes rested and hoped for the best going forward, as pragmatism took hold in these dark depths. The enemy of their enemy might make for a useful tool, at the very least, and maybe more. Testing this, they moved on. An office attached to the barracks they sought refuge in came with a rumor from Lump that it was believed by the devils down there to be haunted, and thusly avoided. Spirits being a speciality of sorts for Tulok, he entered the room and was met with an unholy scream that tore at his mind. Follow-up attempts to parley or enter the room were met with nothing more than eerie silence and no evidence of a vengeful spirit at all. Turning to alternate ways through the prison, the heroes came across an extraordinary room. Expansive in size, with a catwalk around the perimeter, it was filled with glowing pillars of light that encompassed all manner of terrible monsters, frozen in stasis and poised to attack. To the north, a strange change in the pattern of the stonework in the wall drew their eyes as well. But more importantly, Lump detected with their strange and otherworldly senses the vibrating movements of something behind a door to the west. The heroes and allies gathered to enter and ready to strike. But before they could, they were attacked from the rear by a spirit wreathed in sickly green flame. A brutal battle was fought between the pillars, in which cursed and deadly caressing flames nearly ended Azori. With group coordination, the foe was defeated, but it was again Lump who dealt another killing blow and restored the party in the same brilliant stroke. Maybe more than a tool, indeed.
All right, I think it's time to peel back the curtain, or as my friend Max likes to say when he's running D&D, a little peek behind the kimono.
Hey,
I don't like that. I don't like that. Put the kimono back.
Actually, what he says, he always says a little parting of the kimono. It's what he always says. I would like Cam for you to give us a little more on Lump. We talked a bit. We've talked a little bit here and there, but now we've seen Lump do some weird things.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if I said it on air already or not, but we kind of warned everyone that we're going to get into some like kind of creepy body horror kind of stuff with Lump. Yeah. But could you give us a little more insight on like what's happening? What's with the changing weapon? What's with like the spells? You don't have to go into the full backstory, but like, can you give us a little bit of something?
Sure. Mechanically, Lump is a flesh warp war priest of the last breath. Cataphract flesh warp heritage is why I'm wearing plate armor. one of the biggest things that I think the audience may notice is that the Last Breath's favorite weapon is a dagger, and none of the deities, Milani, Calistria, or Erasni, use a dagger. And I was like, Freeman. Yeah, I was like, Freeman.
Yeah,
help me out here.
Make any sense? So we sort of made a GM fiat decision, I guess, and it was well, maybe you can have all three to a degree, which inspired the arm thing, didn't it?
Yeah, that did definitely inspire the arm thing. And so basically, I have a shifting Morning Star. And so that's why, but I just keep reflavoring the weapon as part of my arm instead of just making it the weapon. And that kind of leads into one of the other items I'm using called a Shifter's Prosthesis. And it's a prosthetic arm that's imbued with transmutation magic that can transform it into a weapon. So you hold the weapon for 3 actions and it goes, it just gets absorbed entirely into the prosthesis as it engulfs it. And it's unavailable to me until I decide to pull it out. And you can hold up to 2 items in here, which is pretty neat. But
cool.
With a free action and vision once per minute, I can just immediately have that weapon in my hand. So it's basically kind of like getting quick draw for free, but not quite the same because quick draw is on initiative. This is on my turn. So but yeah, so the prosthesis
doesn't quick draw allow you to strike as well?
Quick draw would not allow you to strike. It's just when you have initiative. Maybe I'm thinking wrong. It's possible. It wouldn't be the first time.
It's very similar to quick draw, but once per minute. Yeah, it's a really neat item. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so that lent itself into the flavor. And then I wanted to just like keep going down the flavor train. And so I got sleeves of storage. And that's why I pull off parts of my arms to pull out things from inside of it. And just kept going with it. Couldn't help myself. So
gnarly. Yeah. Just digging into your own.
I have a spell that I can't wait to use, but I'm not going to say what it is yet.
Okay.
But
so far you've used a couple things didn't really work.
Yeah.
The blood vendetta, which I can't wait to see work properly.
Oh yeah, no, you don't want that to work properly. So almost all of my spells lean into body horror / trauma of some sorts, like blood vendetta, consecrate flesh, blood spray clears, painful vibrations, things like that.
Yeah.
And I just tried to keep as much into the weird creepiness as I could.
Jeez. Yeah. I thought Krakow was the comic relief.
No, sorry. You've been replaced.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be the stoic philosopher.
Yeah. Okay. That's so funny because we were talking about you playing a cleric and you were like, I'm going to prove to people that War Priest is viable.
Yeah.
And I just love you've just gone with this sort of super atypical cleric approach. You still got heal, which is awesome for your font, right? But but everything else is like not your usual stuff. I mean, like you do have heroism, which is cool. You did use that, but everything else is in a very different direction. Beyond like classics like light and detect magic and shit. But it's really cool. Which brings me to everyone else. You've known Lump for what did you say, Kim? All of an hour?
An hour, yeah, between healing and checking rooms and 2 fights.
So far has been fairly effective, not completely like utterly blow your mind effective, but has done a bang up job, especially with those castings of heal in this last fight. I'm kind of wondering what each character's like quick cursory thoughts are on Lump so far. Are they unnerved by Lump? Are they impressed? Are they both? Do they still not quite trust this creature, this character? I can see Scott champing at the bit.
Tulok is wary of this. Like he doesn't know exactly what's going to come of this, but down here he's learned quickly that any enemy of my enemy is my friend for the most part, and not entirely, but at least a little bit. Like even
the saying
Jafaki, wait, not Jafaki.
Wait,
the guy.
Could that be the episode title?
Let him cook.
Like the
Let him cook.
longest one
Well,
ever
the guy whose
is
name that I can never
cyclical.
pronounce, Shachrem.
No, Shafchem. No,
Whatever, I
R in
just
it.
like to
put
roll.
an R in it a few times.
Anyways,
Shafchem.
he was someone that, was quote unquote helping us out, even though he was evil, clearly. So maybe Lump's coming in here and
Mm-hmm.
And Agrel's our best boy.
yeah, exactly, right? So there are like peaks of things that will help us out within this area. And Tulok has kind of quickly realized that you can't just like judge a book by its cover, because he's seen some pretty fucking heinous and disgusting and wild shit already in the last few weeks. So some dude with eyes for mouth and mouth for eyes, it's weird, and I'm sure it's unnerving to him, and I'm sure like looking at it is kind of like tripping him out slightly. But you know what? They need all the help they can get. So
that's true. Definitely
heal me
true.
up, Daddy.
Do you have do you have any are you is Tulak like leaning into I have to trust them, so I'm just going to wholly trust them? Or is
No,
it like
no.
Okay.
The trust is not there, but the help is welcomed.
The appreciation, yeah, it's there. Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
What about Kruka, who's longest been journeying with Tulak now?
Yeah, I mean, Kruka, as a connoisseur of things that hit hard, really likes seeing Lump as someone who could potentially hit things hard. And that's pretty much where his value judgments are going to stop on Lump. I don't think he's too trustful, as you would be of any kind of shambling pile of hard-hitting meat that you've encountered down in the dungeon like that. But,
It seems a little unfair coming from Kruka, but okay.
Yeah, he doesn't trust himself either. It's all copacetic. But no, he would not think twice about turning the blade lumpwards if push came to shove.
Lumpwards. Here on Chartered Earth, we love to create new words. Azori?
Izori, I think, is pretty chill. She spent a lot of time sailing the seas, so I'm sure she's heard of like Lady Kedley and Spinhead. She may have even ferried some flesh warps out of Next to Gabra the Mana Waste or something like that. Like,
For sure.
there's so much potential in her backstory to have encountered something like this or some being like this that I don't think it phases her too much. She's not a trustworthy woman off the bat. Like, she doesn't really trust Tulok and Kruka just yet.
Smart.
Just
They're
because she
more like a
hasn't
means
spent-
to an end for her.
Yeah, exactly. So I think with more time, she'll grow to trust everybody. But right now, she's sleeping with one eye open. That's why Sammy comes out while she's sleeping, is to help keep a watchful eye. She's in unfamiliar territory with unfamiliar people, and anybody who steps up and picks up the fight seems to be valuable. So
yeah, cool. I guess the so far with whatever spells have been cast, they're either familiar or they haven't been like the gnarly one like Blood Mint that I wasn't really effective. So you haven't really seen those the sort of dark horror things besides I guess it's not really horror that the weapon arm is shifting, but it is kind of like stark and obvious. But yeah, I think that all adds up. It's pretty cool. It's nice to have little bits of insight into the characters. Especially since you haven't had much time to really role play yet. Even Azori's been kind of rushed in a way into this dungeon. There hasn't been a lot of downtime because there's always time constraints you guys kind of have on yourselves, and Lump is the newest one in the same trend, right? And also, sorry, speaking of Sammy, you're familiar. Had to change something, didn't we?
I mean, had to.
It never
is a
got
strong
used.
word.
It never got used, I don't think. But
Was James
we had
cheating?
a accidental, illegitimate choice in the familiar abilities, which
I
it was an easy
firmly
mistake.
blame Foundry. They allowed me to use it, and they're normally so good about it.
Well, they're not that good about limiting accessibility. Path Builder's pretty good about it, but Foundry's, they don't really deny you too much.
It was
can't
life
lean on
sense
its
or
building
something
process.
like that.
Yeah, it's called Soul Sight, which is an ability that can only be
Soul Sight.
gained for your familiar via the Soul Warden archetype. So you had gushed it before. The reason I came across it because I was like looking up something about I think Lump's. You've got, what is it? Something sense. Motion sense. And then I was like, oh yeah, let me double check this life sense thing. And I realized just how powerful it was. I was like, this is crazy powerful. What level is this accessible? And I tried to, and I literally couldn't find it anywhere. And I was like, where did you get this? And Cam had
Cobalt
to track it
Press.
down for us. Yeah, exactly. Third party content. Yeah, it's a pretty powerful tool, but sadly not actually accessible to Azori. Did you choose something to replace it yet?
Yeah, I just went with the basic familiar focus. I figure it's an easy fallback. She's used it before. It just once per day for 2 actions her familiar can add a focus point to her pool. So
okay, cool. And like you could swap out these abilities like daily kind of thing, right?
Daily, yeah.
So it's really not that big
last
a deal,
time we rested, she swapped out some stuff for touch, telepathy, spell battery, and the life sense. So it'll be familiar focus.
Okay, cool. Easy. And speaking of meta stuff, one last thing. If I recall correctly, when I revealed the artwork to the creature that you just defeated, which was pretty gnarly, I remember Cam going, "Uh-oh." Cam, did you know what this was before you fought it?
Oh yeah, I did. I was like, oh fuck.
Do you wanna explain what you know off the top of your head to everyone?
It's called a witchfire, and it is, I think it's a hag or kind of or part of a hag, or they hang around hags. And they are just absolutely disgusting with it. They have some crazy spells, but they're, I don't know how much you want me to go into the meta here, because
no, you just go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah, like just like when they hit you with anything, they have a chance to apply a curse to you, and even if you get a success, it fucks you up. You can't become invisible or anything like that, and then you gain weakness to fire for a round. On a failure, it's permanent, and then if you critically fail, it's the weakness doubles. And yeah, it's just it's resistance 10. Yeah, it's just oh god.
Yeah.
Dang.
The reason I asked, I said go ahead and explain some of that is because just as you defeat this thing, and it kind of goes out in a burst of like of green flame and embers and kind of ash, like kind of floating around, and as you do, this big flash hits all your eyes, and you all see a vision.
Oh,
and it is of the cell, or the little sort of cube. What did I call them? These little stasis chambers. The one that you're next to that is burnt out and not glowing. And what you see is a hag inside and Belcora on the outside, having just raised the stasis chamber around the hag, and the hag turning in surprise to what just happened. And you can't hear it, but you can see the hag start to yell curses at Belcora as if she's been betrayed. And then Belcora, with a snap of her fingers, lights the hag up from the inside of the stasis chamber and burns her alive. And that is what creates a witch fire.
Holy shit.
Ooh.
That's
so the witch fire, is basically the crazy thing about witch fires. So it's like they're incorporeal undead forms, and when a powerful hag or even a witch dies in agony or rage, they can come back as a witch fire. And witch fires can actually join a coven of hags even after they're dead and they're undead. And all I can say is be very, very glad that this thing was not in a coven, because it gets insane spells. It probably would have been the TPK if they allowed that kind of that
hag
part
adjacent,
a candelabra of hags.
Yeah, it's absolutely bonkers. It can cast Baleful Polymorph once. It's an 8th level spell.
I don't know what that
Like,
is, but it sounds
ridiculous.
scary.
It is ridiculous. Anyway, that was a pretty gnarly fight. And speaking of said ability, both all of Glastrumdur, Azori, and Lump are cursed with the Witch Flame.
Yeah.
Varying degrees. Lump's a failure. Azori is a critical failure, and I believe, Glash is a failure as well. These are curses and can only be removed through you know what, Scotty McBooty Boo Boo.
That's right.
Stop, drop, and
Good thing
roll.
we finally picked up
Your
a
soul.
fucking cleric.
Yes, tomorrow I should be able to get rid of these curses. I'll just change a few spells around. Everyone gather around, though. It appears we have some wounds to attend to. If you have any questions, you can ask them as I patch you up.
I also have remove curse. Just throwing that out there.
I know.
Yeah, we know. I just like throwing shade your way. If you've got a casting of remove curse, I would happily take it. I don't need to glow and have a weakness to fire.
Yeah, weakness 10 to fire is on the level where you know devils are, probably not a good thing.
Yeah. Well, we've seen the devils, yeah. Or we can rest overnight. I mean,
Rest would be
what,
nice.
what do you folks want to do?
Krucka's still got a stupefied to get rid of.
Yeah, I was going to say, we still have stupefied 1 on Krucka and 2 on Tulok now, which is brutal.
Deuce.
Yeah.
At least we're not cursed. Just dumb.
Yeah, at least we're not cursed idiots.
I mean, you're one of those two things.
Hey, thank you.
So what is the game plan here? Are we going to find a safe space to rest on the floor above? Or are we just going to cast Remove Curse and push on? Are we going to investigate whatever this is?
There's
Like,
also
this was not a quiet fight, so I'm kind of concerned that people are on their way. There's a door to the south of where we came in. There's this walkway around the north. There's all these creatures.
The single door is where you were heading originally, and this thing came up behind you. Yeah, and this whole room obviously filled with creatures. You might want to do a check on the stasis chambers. Yeah, you can. There is to the north. There does appear to be some sort of change in the wall along the catwalk, but you can't. It is opaque. You can't see through. It's just like a different type of stone almost, but it looks like flat and blank.
Ooh, a thorough search of those walls might be good.
Another one of those
potentially.
magic mirrors.
Should see if there's a rune there, or they're just watching from the other side.
Freeman, when you were looking at my motion sense, did you determine anything different than the way we've been running it?
I don't believe so. I keep flip-flopping in my head about what imprecise exactly means. I'm pretty sure it's usually
imprecise is exactly I know what square they're in, but I can't see them, so there's a 50% mischance.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought it was. Because the reason I'm stuck on it is because I think when we did the Jawl fight, when Tulok blinded Jawl, I was doing seek actions to find the square, and I don't think I had to. I think I just had to go with the 50% mischance. So I kind of fucked up a few things in that fight, but
you fucked up another thing in this past fight.
Did I?
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah. Oh, I did
didn't
too.
You? Didn't you?
I did too. It's not my job. I don't know the CR of the creature. You didn't ask me.
I don't have your spells memorized.
But yeah, I
we
used
fucked up the
impending doom.
incapacitation, listeners.
Yeah.
Just like we did on Jawl. Yeah, I didn't realize impending doom had incapacitation.
It has 7 fucking traits.
Yeah,
Hey, we got it when Azori cast it, so this one's on you, bud.
Yeah, no.
Zori, James was all over that. So meet his standard, will you?
I will. I just don't know how James didn't catch it when I did it too. Anyways,
Oh, it's because I'm playing a spellcaster and I cannot pay attention anymore to everybody else's turn.
that's fair.
Spellcasters are hard, yo.
They are.
That's where I've been this whole time, dude.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm a
I
martial
just
and a
started combat.
spellcaster.
And I'm not good at the game.
Okay. It takes us about 30 minutes to heal up. Everyone should be full. And I guess if you have any questions for Lump during this time, otherwise they're going to just stay quiet.
I think Azori's doing occult checks for like recall knowledge on these creatures. Just walking through, like especially these big old serpent guys in the corners here, because they are frightening. Yeah. Belcora seems to have captured herself an aquatic Godzilla, and Azori wants to know more.
So you're gonna tackle the just the two creatures closest to where you're standing when you defeated the Witchfire, basically.
No, specifically not those ones. There are more aquatic-looking creatures, and I think she might be able to use her sailing lore.
Okay. So you are doing
this one.
You're heading south. Okay.
And this one.
Okay, so the one, so we got, again, for the listeners, we got 3 across the top, 5 across, or down from top to bottom. So you're going to the very far southeast?
Yeah, one looks like an aquatic Godzilla, and the other looks kind of like a blurry flump. So
yeah,
okay. That's where she's heading.
Okay, so let's do the southeasternmost. You can roll me an occultism.
It's a secret check.
Yeah, you know we're not good at those with these. Let me just.
Can I roll sailing lore?
Let me check. I'm gonna quickly peruse this and see if it
has the aquatic trait. I'm gonna do this for my creature next on encounter this and make a real big point about using sailing lore.
This will not apply to this creature. No.
Okay.
Okay, so you're rolling occultism, and yeah, you don't know. It's pretty big. It's very reptilian-like, pretty hulking. Looks like it can probably go on all fours or on its hind legs. Big ass tail on it. But kind of a spined frill or whatever along its back. But yeah, you have no information on it, really. Never seen or heard anything like it.
Okay.
The other one is also occultism, and let me just double check for sailing lore. Does not appear to apply. However, you are somewhat familiar with this. In fact, this is a larger version of what was described to you before by the others, of the little bounding frog kind of creatures that they knocked into the water. They were called Gibdus Bounders. This is called a Gibtanius. And basically they are creatures that regularly feed. And that's a kind of a pointless note. It
likes food.
It like food. They're sort of like spheroid bodies with these big legs, and they have acid, like you can see acid dripping from its mouth, like kind of frozen in time. It's got 5 bulbous black eyes on its head, and these big, gangly, powerful legs. It often forms a bond with a single other creature. But it's usually another powerful aberration of some kind. It serves quite loyally, if erratically, although that loyalty can be kind of avoided when hunger takes over. I guess that's the point of the hunger thing. This is, I'll give you a clear picture of it right here. Bam.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool as fuck.
Yeah. So just like the other ones, that does have a leap attack called Bouncing Crush. And it'll basically leap and occupy this landing, occupying the same space as another creature and causing bludgeoning damage and doing a shove effect. This one also, unlike the others, has a breath weapon. You know that much. And I will give you its lowest save, which is reflex. If you happen to want to write that down.
I do.
So I kind of just freely gave you information instead of asking, because I always forget about how Cam does it. But also, I'll give you a picture of the other one.
Paizo did hand out.
Fuck off! There's no world in which that's not aquatic. It has a steering frill and a tail.
It does not have.
Wait, do Stegosauruses
have the aquatic trait?
Stegosauruses have a steering fin?
That's bone. And we're not sure that that's a fin.
I know.
This is a frilled fin. And it goes all the way down its tail for steering underwater. Paizo's artist. What are you
aerodynamic.
Doing? Unless it flies through space, this thing is an aquatic creature. 100%.
If someone else wants
Shenanigans,
to
Paizo.
roll on it, we could maybe see if they know some information about it.
Occultism?
I've got a roll from Lump and Tulak, but both are in the same boat. They have no idea what it is.
I'm stupefied.
Definitely not helping.
Do any of you have the means of removing a curse, or is it something that I should pray for tomorrow?
So as Izori is off looking at these things, Tulak is also kind of peering in, making his check, as it were. But as he hears Lump talk, he's kind of looking at Lump through one of these enclosures and kind of walks around the corner to approach. I have that power, Lump. I could use it on us and you wouldn't have to wait till tomorrow. But what god is it that you pray for? Who gives you these powers?
It's more of a pantheon. Are you familiar with Milani, Calistria, or Erasni?
No. Or, well, hold on. Am I? 20! Okay. So Tulak says, I've heard their names, though I was never one for researching the gods or the pantheons. Was this something that you believed in before, or only since your transformation?
I originally worshipped Calistria, but as you may not be aware, I suppose, she's a rather fickle goddess, her whims changing with the winds. And so I still found her appealing with her vengeance, but I also found that Milani's hope and Erasni's grim determination suited me as well. And so I incorporated those two into the pantheon known as the Last Breath.
And who do you seek this vengeance against? Your captors? The people that are down here? Or is there someone else?
Lump gets a very stoic but sad look on their face. Belcora, just answer it simply. Belcora is the one that I seek vengeance on.
Well, you are in luck, as we seek vengeance against her too, for what she's done on the surface. She attacked our local town, Otari, where I live. Many people have fallen there. She sent a wave of undead creatures, raising the dead. Despicable, horrible actions. Many of my friends have died down here, searching, as we've gone lower and lower. I assume that many more will die. I could die, but we too seek this vengeance.
And Lump kind of straightens up and squares their shoulders as you mentioned the last bit, but when you mentioned that there were problems above ground, they had a very shocked look on their face. I see. And so you said the kobolds are no longer there. Who does reside in the town?
Mostly humans, though there are halflings, dwarves, elves, wolves, orcs, many other people.
I see.
It is a plethora of different ancestries there, but mostly they are all good. They fight for what is right, and they're just hardworking individuals. No idea what's going on down here.
You haven't informed them.
Okay. They have a bit of an idea. At least some of them do. They know that something evil is brewing down here, but maybe they don't know the exact details.
I see.
You have to understand, Lump, we haven't had much time.
How long have you been coming down here?
Almost a month?
Lump.
Scott says maybe, sure.
Yeah, maybe we did a check not that long ago. I think it was still like about 3. Oh yeah, we're about 3 weeks in. So short. So much has happened.
I see. And you've been at this every day for a month?
For the most part. Every once in a while, we head back to town to sell items for more gear that we can use or to replenish ourselves. But yes, most days and many nights, we've been down here.
I appreciate your dedication. You seem very heroic in a way that I'm not.
No, I don't think so. It's just, we do the same thing every day. We wake up. We push hard to kill enemies, to move deeper, to discover secrets. We've been doing exactly what you've been doing since we met, just for a month in a row. We're not heroes. We're just trying to make sure that more people don't die.
Not to correct you, Mr. Tulok, but most people would not spend a month of their lives ramming their head against the proverbial wall of the evils that lurk down here. I think that makes you a hero.
I think Tulok kind of, maybe his cheeks go a little blush, but he doesn't exactly want to continue this line of conversation because
I can see you're uncomfortable, and I'm sorry for overstepping or diving too deeply into your personal affairs. Are you all patched up then? And Lump will check to make sure you're not bleeding anywhere.
No, I'm fine, Lump. Thank you so much. Now, why doesn't everyone come together and I'll just remove these curses from you? It will be a little bit of a drain for me, but I think at this point it's for the best. We are somewhere that's not safe, and we need to continue to fight to move on. I know that down in this room here, we will see... Oh, wait. Did you use that motion sense last time and let us know that there was creatures there?
There's creatures to the southwest, and Lump, when you mentioned that, will go... There's also one to the north. Behind...
Okay.
You said this was a mirror, Freeman, to the north?
It's more like a flat stone wall, but it's rather than like the usual kind of brick and stonework all around. It's just flat and
motherfucker. So they're watching us.
Single slat, and it's like 15 feet long.
Yeah, while they were talking, and Pekka didn't need healing either, he would have been searching around for some kind of mechanism, physical kind of control of some kind.
Zori marching around as well. There are a couple creatures you recognize immediately without a check. One is a Drider. And one is a gibbering mouther.
I love those.
There are two other creatures that you don't recognize. Well, actually, there's three, but one of them is clearly dead, laying on the ground inside the stasis chamber.
But still in stasis.
Yeah. Just go ahead and roll me another occultism or an arcana if you happen to have it, but I'm sure occultism's your top one.
Yeah, occultism's way better.
So yeah, you, as you're inspecting some of these, we can do some more rolls of the other creatures too in a sec if you want, but as you're kind of looking at these stasis chambers, it occurs to you that they've been sitting here for a long time, and the magic, while holding, is probably not as stable as it used to be. Meaning you could probably break a pillar, and there's a very high chance that when the magic crumbles, it will kill the creature inside.
Free XP.
I don't like those odds.
And I'll give you the actual mechanic. It's a DC 3 flat check, so it's a very high chance of
check, yeah.
10% chance it'll survive.
I see you eyeing those, and maybe we wait until we're rested and Tulok has had a chance to remove these curses.
Oh, and also, sorry, where the by all means, yes, it's probably a good plan. But in the one where the hag was killed, you can actually see that there are a couple items inside. There's a bag and a pair of bracers.
Ooh, hag bag.
Classic hag bag.
So hot this season.
The old haute couture hag bag.
While further searching is being done, Tulok will take 10 minutes each to remove the curse from each individual.
Okay. All right, so you're going to roll a sweet, whatchamacallit, counteract check, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just find my DC for that. Okay, it's going to be DC 26.
You got this.
Fuck, I probably should get rid of this stupefied first.
Yeah, you're at a disadvantage for this.
Natty 1 to start us off. Oh. I'm going to hero point that.
Natty 20?
27.
All right. Okay, so that's a success, which means you counteract if it's a rank 5 or less. I don't really know how that applies to a non-spell, but let's just go ahead and say it is a success, and you counteract it.
Who did you counteract it on?
I mean, I guess he was just literally just talking to Lump, so maybe he would do them first. And
okay, success.
Next
Lump is no longer cursed.
Would be Izori.
What? You're not going to prioritize Glash just because he's an NPC?
He's farthest away. I told everyone to gather around.
Excuse me, Master Tulok.
Crack is just blocking him.
Okay, that's a fail.
Okay. Fail. It's a fail if when you fail, it's a counteract target if the counteract rank is less than 4. Okay, yeah, we'll say it's probably not.
Tulok will cast guidance on himself.
Classic.
20 fuck.
20 fuck.
20 fuck.
There's the episode title.
Yeah. If we ever put a curse word in the episode, like that's the one that deserves it.
Just the last 4 letters are asterisks.
Clip that.
Let your imagination take hold.
We'll make that the beep for beeping out all the other swears. It's just Scott saying 25.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Okay, Tulok's going to use his last 4th level spell.
Okay. Brutal.
Another natural 1.
Oh no. It's like critical failure curse.
4.
You're
was that
double
4
cursed.
castings or 3 castings?
4.
That was
4
3.
castings,
You
only
rerolled
1 success. Oh yeah, you reroll 1.
Yep, and then I cast it.
You
3
cast
more
it once
times.
on me, and then you cast it 3 more times. Well, okay.
Oh yeah, you did. 22, 23, and a natural 1 again.
Jeez.
Brutal. Well, it looks like you stuck for now.
Jeez, well, I could use a rest.
unless you want to rest. Health-wise, you're fine. Spells-wise, I don't know where your guys are at, but
I mean, that hurt.
Lump still got some pain,
okay.
and
stupefied-wise, you're not fine.
So Tulok looks at his companions and says, well, I'm sorry for that, Glash and Izori, but perhaps we should clear out this next room just to make sure that no one follows us and head somewhere to rest. We can try again in the morning.
Quickly, while we have the moment, and Lump will hold out their holy symbol and detect magic on the items in the where the hag was.
Okay, yeah. Good call. And they are surely magical. You can tell that the bracers have the abjuration school of magic, and the bag has the conjuration school of magic. I know they're getting rid of schools of magic, but I kind of like that detect magic kind of pinpoints these.
I really don't see the value in getting rid of the schools of magic. I really like them.
Well, they're sort of replacing them with something different, what they call curriculums, which are going to serve a similar purpose, I think.
School.
Would anybody?
I take the extracurricular curriculum.
No cats were left behind. Dude.
So I guess School of Magic is just school too, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay, Tulok takes the bracers and starts to put them in Duffy's mouth.
Well, you actually got to break the wall down first. The wall is still there; it's just not glowing.
Lump will headbutt it.
It's got
Glass
some
goes in your mouth.
Pretty hefty
eyes?
hardness, to be honest. So
Okay, like I guess that just Lump and Krucka will just take turns hammering away at it for however long it takes.
Whistling while they work. Yep. tunelessly.
Hi. And the deep gnome joins. Hi ho! Hi ho!
You want to get sued?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Would we be under the impression that it's weak to Sonic because it's essentially a construct?
It is magically enhanced stone, specifically. So no particular, unless you have something that specifically circumvents some amount of hardness. It's not specifically, or targets structures or materials. It's not specifically weak to Sonic.
No.
But if you want to, if Lump and Krucka just want to roll me a couple damage rolls.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get through it.
Double nat ones on the D8 for 6.
What's your max damage, Lump?
My max damage would be 20.
Okay. So you could barely get through if you wanted.
Okay.
Just barely. It's got a hardness of 18.
Okay.
Krucka, what's your max damage?
Unarmed or with an axe?
Yeah, whatever hits hardest.
Okay. 31.
I assume you're not going to punch this wall.
Probably not. Probably go with the striking bookshinger. Actually, I could hit with a 31. 21.
Okay, that does a little bit. We're not going to keep doing this because it'll take way too long. But you can tell right away it's going to take you some time. In fact, I will say that if you want to sit here hacking, it's going to take you a proper hour to get through.
Really want that hag bag.
But meanwhile, you don't know who's watching.
That Duncan said earlier that Krucka was searching for any switches or anything like that. Did anything happen there?
Let me just roll.
I'm sure he was being thorough.
Oh, was he ever?
Always searching thoroughly.
I think that, also the fact that, Krucka didn't need any healing, and you took a while to mention the items, could he have been doing that in the time that I was healing and Tulok was removing curses?
Yeah. I heard Lump say something about beating your head against a proverbial wall and took it real literally.
Hey! Smash that dome.
Yeah, taking a look around, you don't find anything in particular, especially to deactivate these.
Bummer. Guess it's just smacking things with sticks. What he's best at.
That's basically it. Tulok, I see you're heading to the north there.
Yeah. Tulok is going to go up to and just inspect this glass, or the weird window thing.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an occultism.
Uno momento, I close my character sheet. 23.
Yeah, you're not sure. This looks different. You definitely suspect that this is one of those kind of transform, transparent kind of things, but you're not 100% sure because it doesn't look like the others. The others were proper stoneworked walls that were modified to hide the fact that you could see through them. You could kind of make them one way or totally transparent and what have you. This one is a little more obvious, so you're not entirely sure.
And I don't see a rune or anything like that.
You do not know.
Tulok will say to his companions, perhaps we should go to this room in the south here. Try to take out whoever's behind that door so they don't sneak up behind us if we're making a bunch of noise here with this cell.
That seems like a good plan. Real quick, Freeman, did Krucka have the time to bash through this? And in that hour, did things come out to say hello while we were doing that?
Is that what you're doing? You're going to spend the hour?
I mean, I spent 30 minutes treating wounds. Tulok spent 40 minutes getting rid of curses or trying. And so,
a search of the room followed by bashing.
Smashing. Yeah.
Okay.
Smashing and
All right.
bashing.
So
Our
assuming
total
no one has
amount of time, if we were doing things efficiently, would be 40 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, so assuming no one has any objections to the loud banging of smashing this thing for an hour.
Well, I think Tulok was saying we should go to this door to the south first.
Clear the room first.
Yeah.
Oh,
Your plan makes
Yeah,
good sense.
Azori could cast Silent on Krucka, but she's not ready to blow those last couple of spells just yet.
Yeah, he'd probably find a way to ruin it.
Yeah, so we'll just do the curses and the healing and then go stack up at the door. If it's okay with y'all, I'd like to be in the front.
By all means.
Also, I like how your creature, flesh warped creature, says y'all.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
It's a dialect from Alkenstar near Nex.
Y'all.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
What'd you say about my mother?
A wise poet once said.
Yippee-ki-yay?
All right. So small little note here. I was kind of perusing the book again today, and I realized there was a little bit of flavor that I forgot about this floor. Like, we've covered, it's kind of warm. There's like the smell of like brimstone and sulfur and stuff. Like, it usually kind of pervades the place. I've completely forgot that there's also this element of like, everywhere you go, there's like diabolic runes, kind of like occasionally carved into the walls. And when you crack the doors, like these like the frames of the door like flit with like fire as the door is cracked, just for like a quick second, creating like a small flash.
Okay.
And the idea is that it's actually like, it's kind of hard to sneak through a door. Not that you guys really sneak through doors much, but that was like part of the thing in the book I thought was really neat. It was like when you crack a door, it goes psh, and it kind of gives everyone a warning on the other side that the door's been opened.
Cracker just sees it as making an entrance.
Yeah. Exactly.
With style.
Give him the razzmatazz.
All right, so you guys are clustering up by the door here. Tulok is close behind Lump. Krucka next as well. Glash is a little bit back. Azori is well back.
Yeah, Azori's taking cover between the two tanks and taking the avoid notice action. If Lump's going to enter, she wants to surprise at the end.
Okay. All right, I assume Tulok's avoiding notice as well. Classic.
Away.
Away. French listeners.
Krucka's scouting.
Okay.
I really like that this new party sheet can be popped out.
Oh, the party sheet, yeah. Pathfinder 2e module for the win.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, you can see our
So
languages, our recall knowledges, and what exploration activity we've selected.
Oh, that's how you spell Sage Tula.
It's
So
not.
you watch Lump take about 6 seconds, their arm forming back into like a more human-shaped arm. Still fucked up, but like it's still dripping blood a little bit from the end. And they'll reach to the door, look to their new comrades, and make sure they're ready, and then open the door.
Okay, and just before you open the door, I want to give Lump and Tulok a hero point for their roleplay.
Yay! Let's go, Scott.
And Lump cracks the door to reveal a small chamber. Straight ahead, there is a large map of the inner sea. Actually, it's not straight ahead. Up on the north wall, there's a large map of the North Sea, or the inner sea. Though you can see that the listed countries seem long out of date, should you take a moment to linger over it. There's a large cushion that rests in the room's southwest corner, and on the west wall straight ahead of you is overlapping scraps of paper that create together a rather newer-looking map of the town of Otari and the area around it. And on the north wall, right by the map, is this huge hand that's like desiccated and decaying. It's a large size, so it's like it's a medium size, so it's about the size of any of you. Just this single hand. And on the cushion is this creature, and as you crack the door, it stands up and shing pulls out this blade and points it at you. It's this humanoid creature, these kind of long, gangly kind of fingers and hands, but it's clothed in all these like many colored robes and like pantaloons and like a turban on its head and this like scarf covering its face. And it just pulls the knife out and points it at the door and says, "Who are you?"
Is this in common?
It'll be an Aklo to start.
Lump responds in kind. My name is Lump, and these are my new comrades. Are you okay?
How I am is of no concern to you. Lump, why are you not with your superiors?
I have none.
Is that so?
I believe it to be true.
So you've broken your bonds, have you?
Yes, I have broken my chains with the help of my new friends.
Well, no concern of mine. However, you being here is. Do you have business with me?
Lump kind of tilts their head to the side. Have I seen this person before?
I don't think so. I have to recall back to the couple of notes that I gave you. No, you've heard of this creature. It's like one of the only non-devils here that works for Eurevian. And you know that its name is Isond Kalir.
Isond Kalir, was it?
Yes.
We are merely trying to gather more information. If there's anything we could do to help you,
I need no help,
maybe you could help us.
and I have nothing to offer you.
I see.
Leave me to my business.
And can I make a quick perception check to see if there's anything of particular interest in this room?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead
I will
and
give
roll
you a
me.
blind.
You pick up on actually how much you guys haven't talked much like as a party about where they've been so far, right? And what kind of like what other goals they have. So I don't know if there's much I can give you at least on this particular creature. You see that there is a door to the south and another one to the southeast as well. So there's two single doors here.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the map, the sort of cobbled together map space stuff on the wall is like quite new, and it seems pretty detailed of Otari. But beyond that, you don't know much.
I don't know that I would even recognize that map as of Otari, especially if it's recent.
Yeah.
So,
you're kind of I don't think anyone else can really see what's
Past
going on.
my-
Tulok
yeah.
can see straight ahead past you, and the big hand on the wall. Kruka's got a pretty awkward angle, can barely see this creature in the corner.
And see the door to the south.
real quickly, because of my Undead Slayer's dedication, do I recognize this hand as an undead creature? Ooh.
What's your ability here? I forgot about this. Slayer's identification, is that what it is?
Yes, it is part of the Undead Slayer dedication. You gain the Slayer identification free action. So if it's an undead, like I just get a free action at the start of a combat to try to recognize it. So if it looks undead to Lump, then it's probably very quickly going to escalate the violence.
Okay. Okay. In that case, go ahead and roll. You get a free recall knowledge, is what it is, right? So why don't you recall me some knowledge?
All right. I'll give you a blind GM roll.
Yep. This is a giant crawling hand. The giant version of the crawling hands you fought before, the group fought before, as well as the swarm. This is yet another iteration, and it is very much undead. It is sitting very still on the wall, but yeah, it's definitely an undead creature.
Just pins in each finger like a butterfly keeper.
If you look at the artwork, you can actually see that it's like pelted with arrows.
Yep.
Okay, not to hop in here too out of turn, but I was just thinking that these cells are potentially where they keep creatures to send through the fucking
Laser.
like the blue light, because he's got a map of the city and they sent the Scalathrax through, or whatever it was called.
So you're thinking that, or sorry, you're saying that the stasis chambers are like the creatures that they send through the gauntlet?
They're holding cells for them, and then eventually, because we're in the prison level, these are holding cells, and then they put them through, teleport them into Otari.
Listeners, Scott just earned himself a hero point.
Yeah.
Because that is exactly what they are.
Yeah, baby!
And you have a couple empty stasis chambers there, so this Galafax very much was in one of those before.
Okay, so clearly we're in the middle of the conversation, so Tulok doesn't say anything about that yet, but he will say it. Actually, Tulok was the one thinking this, not Scott, because Scott's too dumb. And
he literally thinks of it and then discredits himself.
Tulok looks at the creature over Lump's shoulder and says, "What do you keep these creatures for out here? Sending them to Otari, as I can see on the maps behind you. You're just a piece of Belcora's plan, aren't you? What is your job and who do you report to?"
Oh. You are keen, aren't you? And perceptive. I don't keep them, at least not any longer. And the warden here was long ago burned away. Sure, there was plans for them. And yes, I worked for Belcora. But that is a long time ago. I have my own designs now.
Speak now of these designs or be treated like an enemy.
And why should I simply reveal it all to you? You mean to come in here and bully me?
Yes. You treat with the undead. You will be treated thusly.
Surely you know that the undead are simple tools the majority of the time.
That's what they said about me.
Ah, but you are no undead, and you have broken your bonds, proving you are superior to them. That thing on the wall means little to me. Well, maybe I shouldn't say little. It is among the many sacrifices some have had to make for greater things. You want to know why I'm here?
Lump nods.
Why I've stayed? Well, because I have found something truly rare. I have found true psychic potential. And I seek to foster it. Slowly. To see it come to the surface. To spring to life. To watch it grow. And see how far it can take itself.
What have you done? What have you made? Tell us more.
I have made nothing short of a friend in which the psychic potential lies. And I will see her grow to magnificence.
Is it the Motley Man?
Where is this friend you speak of? Give us more information. I can tell you are withholding from us now, and I demand that you give us more information now, or you will be treated like we've treated everyone else, every other follower of Belcora so far. And I want to make a coercion check.
Okay.
I'd like to aid. May I aid?
I'm going to use that hero point I just earned because I rolled a net one.
That's your third one this session. Holy crap.
Freeman, may I aid?
Oh, sure. Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
So coercion.
That is a intimidation check against the target's will DC.
Okay.
Modified by any circumstances the GM determines.
I got a 33 to 8.
I got
I am
okay.
32.
Remember, kids, if you're going to coerce someone, bring a friend.
So you would get a 33 as well?
This creature, still holding the knife out, kind of gives a tilt of its head. And then he turns the knife to the map of Otari. I have found her here. In the manor.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And you know, half-elf, this is too fortuitous. Because I sense it in you as well. There is something that lies beneath. And I would help you realize it as well. All you need to do is take this. And he reaches into this pouch on his belt and pulls out a flawless ruby and holds it out to you.
Fuck.
I know who you are, creature. You're known as the Motley Man, and you take this girl in her dreams and lure her out here. You are nothing but another sick and twisted denizen from down below. I will reach my own power myself, and I don't need your help.
Oh, I am much more than a denizen of below. I am a denizen of Lang. And she accepted this very much of her own volition. I have forced nothing. She simply follows her dreams. And you can hear like this sort of venomous, delicious dripping in the word dreams as he says it.
Tulok ends all negotiations by casting, or starts the fight by casting haste.
Okay.
If you'll allow it. But if you just want to go into initiative, I understand.
You know, it's funny. I was actually looking up some, or I came across some stuff that's come from the Game Master Guide that I hadn't read in a long time, so I kind of forgot about it. But there is something to be said about like pre-buffing. So there's a limit to it, like, but some parties obviously would try to do it sometimes. Before we go in the door, I want to pre-buff. So you can't just like pre-buff yourself all the time with a whole bunch of things. You kind of have to limit it a little bit before it's overpowered. So I'll allow it. However, you're not taking this thing by surprise. So if you're going to do one, he's going to do one.
It's fine. I've made my choice.
But that also opens up the possibility for everyone else to sort of do one thing if they want as a pre-buff, which is pretty powerful.
If you just want to roll initiative, we can just do that too.
Yeah, I think just rolling initiative.
Okay. All right. I think that's probably the smoothest way to do it, is to just roll initiative and not do a pre-buff then. But I just want to throw that out there. That is something
occultism.
Okay.
Why not intimidate? Like, you just did intimidation.
Because one's more.
Yeah.
I see. Munchkin.
I think intimidation is an option. I don't think occultism is.
But
if
is
you
it
want to take
casting
it.
an occult spell what started the fight? See, Cam, I don't munchkin when I make my characters. I munchkin by bickering throughout the whole
wearing down the dream.
Take it or leave it, Scoot.
Okay, fine, I'll take intimidation.
Do some initiative. Tulok, what'd you get since you're so eager?
Natural 1 for 16.
Brutal. That's your fourth natural 1. What's going on? Krucka?
A 22.
Okay. Zuri in the back.
That is a natural 20 with my avoid notice for a 34 plus 2 for Swashbuckler's initiative, which is a 36.
Meow.
Damn.
And she will draw her rapier.
Lump at the front.
11 for a 27.
11 for a 27. And who was going to roll for Glash?
I did. And Glash got a 3 for a 17.
Okay. Still better than Tulok. Round 1 is Zori at the top of the order.
Zori's going to delay.
Okay.
The room is too tight. She doesn't have a line on anything, and she can't. Mm-hmm. There's no value in her getting up close and personal. I think she's a little more trepidatious to combats now that she's had her ass kicked twice.
Okay, fair enough. She had a moment of shining. She had a rough start and then a moment of shining a while back, but now it's been rough again lately. Let's see what Lump's got next up.
So Lump strides into the room to clear a way for the rest of their companions. and makes it to the southeast corner of the room, reaches out their hands as it explodes, sending shards of bone everywhere into the room. And there's just a jagged torrent as they cast bone spray. And I need reflex saves from
Bone
everyone in the
spray
room.
is ready.
Thank you.
Okay, reflex. Sorry, yeah.
Yep.
The giant crawling claw gets a 24,
Meets a beat.
and Isond Kelir gets a 30.
That is a success as well, so they will take half damage.
Okay.
So it'll be, I rolled a 6 and a 10 for 14 points of damage. And then I don't know if they take the bleed. They do take bleed damage as well. So
Okay, how much bleed?
1 point.
1 point. Okay, does the crawling hand take it? Didn't automatically apply, but I also don't see immunities to bleed on here. So I'm gonna see if I can make Foundry give it to it. 1 bleed save.
And that is my turn.
Automating that it's unaffected for some reason. But I'm not sure why. So we'll get to that in a sec. It's your turn.
That is my turn.
Uzori will jump in.
Okay. Zori hopping in the order. What do you got?
First 2 actions, she'll telekinetic projectile the hand with bludgeoning.
Okay.
It's a 24 to hit.
That hits.
20 points of bludgeoning.
Okay. Bam. Good
And her
hit.
last action will be to hide.
Okay. So you're gonna roll. We're gonna roll a stealth check for you.
Yep.
Okay.
Which I think is secret, but that's your call.
Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah. GM rolls. Your stealth check compares the results to perception. Okay. I have rolled it. And
I see. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, is it public? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, and that's your turn?
Yeah, that's all 3.
Okay, cool. All right, so Yasond Kalir is up, who is going to cast Mirror Image on itself. And then is going to, let's see here, it's then going to cast another small spell, and you could just see underneath the scarf over its face, like Lump. You could see its mouth start to move, but you don't hear a voice coming from Yasond Kalir. You hear it inside your ear, and it just says, "Prepare to be bound again." And next up is the crawling claw. It is going to, for the first time, well, I guess it moved after it got hit by the telekinetic projectile, but is now, as it responds to that, it's going to start to crawl over towards Lump.
Did they take their bleed damage for the...
Did not.
Clear.
Thank you for that. Oh yeah, for some reason Foundry automated it as like a 0.5 damage. That doesn't make any sense. Something's wrong with the whole Foundry with this one. It'll be -1, and recovery check fails.
Okay.
The Crawling Claw is going to scoot on over to Lump and make a strike with Le Claw. Natural 20.
Yes.
That'll hit.
For a 35. That's going to be 28 slashing damage.
Okay.
And then last action is going to grab you.
Okay. Real quick for if I take the Explorer action, defend, and have shield, does that last through my first turn, or do I have to raise it again on my first turn?
You have to raise it again on your first turn.
And I will click that off, and I will take the damage.
Okay, and next up is Kruka.
Kruka, first action, rage. Grr. Second action, move. Third action, swing, not close the door.
Close the door.
That's
Close the door.
He'll
And then move again.
sidle up behind this here hand to flank it as much as a person possibly can flank. A severed at the wrist hand. 29 to hit.
That is a big ol' hit, yep.
22 slashing. Or sorry, 22 damage, 8 fire.
All right, so that is rage, move, and strike.
Don't love blocking the door, but also love flanking, so...
Yep. And I believe that brings us to Glash.
Glash is going to go ahead and play the angle and cast Produce Flame at the Denizen. 18 on the die for 32.
Oh, yeah, that hits.
Very nice.
For 11 points of fire damage.
Our NPCs are great.
11 fire, okay.
Yep. And last action will do a silly little dance.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
What does that do mechanically?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. The majority of third action doesn't have Intimidate or anything fun to really throw out there.
Yeah.
So,
Silly
you know what?
NPCs.
He'll try to hide.
You could always create a version or something, try and kite them out.
Yeah. Does not have Deception, so.
Okay. That brings us to Tulok.
Tulok will step 5 feet to the...
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Produce flame. I mirror imaged.
Okay.
So you need to roll a chance for hitting me. So roll me a d4.
I got a 1.
Okay, that hit me.
Hey.
Amazing. Okay. Instead of rolling back the clock, go for it, Scott.
Tulok steps 5 feet to the southwest and is therefore standing on the other side of the door stop from Krucka and will cast haste upon him.
Okay. Based on Kruka.
And that's that.
Okay. Next up is Lump.
Lump
Top
will
round 2.
free action shift their arm into a Morning Star and bash this crawling hand, grabbing them. That is a 32 to hit.
That is a crit.
All right. For 30 points of damage.
Nice.
And you destroy the crawling
Beautiful.
hand.
Yeah, baby.
With my second action, I'm going to look at the creature to my west. What was it? Yason Clear. And just, that looks like a terrifying amount of blood to be losing. And I'm going to cast Horrifying Blood Loss, so I need a will roll.
The best qualifier for a blood loss.
I like the sound of that.
You need a will save, you say.
I will save if you don't
mind. Coming in hot. Natural 17 for a 34.
A 34 is a critical success, unaffected. All right.
Oh.
It'd be like that sometimes. Last
Yeah.
action is going to go ahead and raise shield.
I think you'll find I have a lot more blood than this. Not my greatest line.
We'll see about that.
You may notice
Sorry.
I have tons of blood.
I got loads to spare. I'm a venerable blood bank.
Well, time to make a withdrawal.
Oh god.
That was fucking really
Artist.
good, Duncan. I'd have given you a hero point for that one.
Yeah, you can have one. Go
Hey,
for it.
thank you. I need it.
That was real good. Zori.
Zori's first 2 actions, she's going to cast Warp Step to get into this room because it doesn't seem like that door's going to get any less crowded.
Yep. Yeah, it's a real tight room.
Yeah, with her last action, can she go all the way to the corner here? Occupy that space?
Yeah, the space is fine, yep.
With her last action, she's going to attempt a demoralize.
Okay. What do she say?
Your Catapeshian garb will not help you here, even if you dress like our neighbors. She only rolled a 22, so I do not think that's anywhere near a success.
No, it is a failure. He cocks an eyebrow like, Catapeshian. These are mine, bitch.
Yeah, he's very much dressed like a Keller,
Yeah.
Either somebody from Kadira or Katapesh. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's Kadiran, so she would recognize it.
As always, I appreciate the role play from the roll.
Doesn't make sense to do it the other way around.
Yeah. Okay, and that brings us to Yasan Kalir, and he's just head back. He's like, perfect. Thank you for joining us. And is going to cast a spell that is going to land right about here. Right next to the corner next to Kruka. It's going to hit everyone except for himself.
Flash.
And not Glash. And I need everyone to roll a will save as this pattern of shifting colors just starts to form in geometric shapes in the air all around you in a 10-foot burst.
Times like this, I really appreciate the stupefied condition.
Lump rolls an 11 for a 27.
Okay, 27 is a meet to beat. So you success. You're unaffected. However, you are dazzled while in this area. Dazzled meaning that there's a 20% mischance, basically. Kruka, what'd you get?
3 on the die for a 14.
Oof. You've critically failed, so you are dazzled, but you are also fascinated by this pattern.
Oh no.
So fascinated. I was kind of looking at this again the other day or today, kind of a bit curious about it because I was like, it seems like a weird thing. We've kind of come across it before. It never really had much of effect, but that was always on a creature. This is on something separate from this creature, so it can be pretty significant. In Kruka's case, it might not be so much, except for the fact that the critical failure means that so long as you are fascinated by the pattern, you cannot use any reactions.
Oh, I love those.
So all reactions are moot for you at the moment, Kruka. More importantly, I need the results of our spellcasters here, or other spellcasters. So, Azori, what'd you get?
29.
Ooh, you are unaffected, but dazzled still while in the pattern. And Tulak?
24.
Dazzled and fascinated. You can use reactions. However, the thing with fascinated is that you cannot use any actions with the concentrate trait unless it affects the thing you're fascinated by, which effectively means any of your spells that have the verbal component, you cannot cast at Yasan Kalir.
So all of them.
Probably all of them, which might take Tulak out of the fight a little bit. Otherwise, everyone can still try and attack Yasan Kalir, but you've all got a 20% mischance now, and he's still got mirror image. And with like a shake of Yasan Kalir's like shoulders, and again you could see his mouth like moving underneath the scarf, and he just turns his head towards you, Azori, and you can hear, just like Lump did, this like sound in your ear, almost in your brain, and this voice, and it just says,
You do not scare me, because you cannot destroy me. Not here. You will either know bounds, or I will kill you.
and that's what we're going to call it.
Oh, shit.
Just spending actions to just whisper in your ear.
God.
I'm dazzled.
Stemming the Tide is an actual play podcast of the Adventure Path Abomination Vaults and is produced by the Uncharted North Network. Stemming the Tide uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's community use policy. We are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. Stemming the Tide is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. Music is composed by Will Savino and artwork by Greyhood. Stemming the Tide is recorded remotely using Foundry Virtual Tabletop. If you wish to connect with us or support this project and projects to come, we can be found at unchartednorth.ca, patreon.com/unchartednorth, and on all major social media platforms. Links to all credits can be found in the episode description and our website. Thanks for tuning in.